This is Manchester United we're talking about.
This is Man United we're talking about.
This is Manchester 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 United we're talking about.
Oh, this is Manchester United we're talking about.
It's Manchester United we're talking about. Manchester United we're talking about here.
This is Manchester United we're talking about.
This is Manchester United we're talking about.
This is Manchester United we're talking about.
I mean, this is Manchester United we're talking about.
This is Manchester United we're talking about.
This is Manchester United we're talking about.
It's Man United we're talking about. It's Man United we're talking about. It is Man United we're talking about. It's Manchester United we're talking about.
It's Man United we're talking about. This is Man United we're talking about.
It's Manchester United we're talking about.
We're talking about Manchester United.
Yes, people, this is Manchester United we're talking about. And this morning, Juma Mubarak to everyone. And also, good morning to whoever else. Not much news, let's be real. But today is the day. We've got deadline day. And I've been, patiently anticipating if any news is going to actually be true. I'm pretty sure we're going to see multiple stories within an hour, 2 hours, maybe a few. Might even get a little bomber. Imagine we get the bomber today. We might get like an Orny bomb. Here we go. I don't know. But United need to get a move on. And if we want to enjoy our weekends, then today is literally everything that, it's been pretty much spoken about for the week, isn't it? I see MEN put out a post earlier as well, literally not even that long ago, saying that United's found an alternative. Who's that alternative, you may ask? Apparently his name is Igor Payshow, something like that. He plays for Feyenoord. I think he got 19 goals and 18 assists. He contributed 7 extra goals or assists or something like that in the Champions League. I don't know much about Feyenoord these days anyways, not compared to a couple years ago. But if United are saying allegedly that they found an alternative, it might mean that United are willing to walk away. Take it or leave it. But we must pay up. If they want the 65 million, we went through it last night, not even 12 hours ago, to be honest. I think I was live on this very channel about 10 hours ago. Literally about 10 hours ago. Funny old world, isn't it? One moment it's dark and the next is all light. But big up to everyone. Big up Paul Tucknott in the building. Big up Terrell Gunner TV as well. Big up Yusuf. I don't know what likes we're on, but I'm pretty sure we can raise them. Apparently Hoyland agreed Inter Milan move. I saw that, but then I look, you know what? I don't know what's everyone's an ITK these days, isn't it? Like they want to play the ITK game. And I saw the page as well, and it's like guesswork over there. It's called Man United One News, something like that. And I'm thinking, oh, that's a great ITK name. Maybe I should make a Twitter page and just copy and paste and make assumptions. I think I'll probably do well. Do you guys think I'll do well? We can call it. What should we call ourselves on Twitter? We can become an ITK. What should we call it? Should we call it Cass Central News, KCN? Should we call it KCN? That's quite a good abbreviation. And you know what? How about this? I'll ask you lot. You lot could be my sources. You lot give me your opinions, and you find out what everyone else is saying. Like this old Marco, I don't know. This dude that keeps playing a guessing game as well. What's his name? Marco Alcaraz, Alcaraz, or something like that. Him. Oh my God. If I've never seen a more, I don't know, sophisticated, like when I read it, it seems like a more sophisticated or maybe a little bit more of an educated Ross Harwood. Do you know what I mean? They pop out of nowhere. They spawn like gremlins. And I see them everywhere. And Simply United, right, who I'm going to unfollow now because they piss me off. Not only do they misquote, these other journals like Laurie Whitwell and so forth, and also even Ben Jacobs, who've both asked them to, that's not what they said. They've asked them to rewrite them and quote them correctly. They literally quote anybody. Anybody. Does my head in. Honestly, that there used to be that page. Did anyone used to what's his name? I can't even remember his name now. His face, I can remember as his face, but we used to be in Spaces. But anyways, we used to be in Spaces together. And he had this big account, obviously. I can't remember. It gives the S in the U. Souls? No, not Souls. Why can I not remember his name? Anyways, him. And they literally bought his account. So whatever, man. We can be journalists. We're going to be journalists today. We're going to make an assumption. Let's make an assumption together. MBEUMO to United today is agreed. 65 million is going to be the price, or 64 million that's going to be the guess. We got told basically by our dreams. Just literally, if you've just woken up, we just got told in our dreams. Literally, Jason Wilcox decided to walk over in our dream and tell us that the deal has been agreed. So we've been directly told in our dreams that Jason Wilcox has got the MBEUMO deal wrapped up. And you know what? How about this? MBEUMO told us himself after the training session. There you go. Source. Cass, who would you get, Osimhen or Mateta? No, I'd rather get Osimhen. We spoke about Rasmus' terms agreed with Inter. Yeah, you know what, James? We spoke about that in our dreams as well. You know, we really dreamed hard last night. You know, we was working hard to make sure that, you know, that part can get over the line, because we're ITK now. Sell that bum Hoyland. I already know that, man. I saw that. Look, I hope so. That's all I can say for that. I hope so. I wish. Anyways, smash the likes, people. What likes are we on? I can't even. Why can I not? It's not letting me click it. It usually gives me a whole breakdown. We're on 17 likes. That's 17 absolute shameless likes. They're bullshit. Anyways, MBEUMO, man. Look, I don't think United are going to walk away from this one. And I do believe this is the gamble that's paid off for Brentford. You know, I saw something else saying that they're actually holding out for 63 million and not even 65 million. But again, it sounds like a little bit more guesswork. You know, if United are really about this bit, like about this, they're about their business, then pretty much they stand firm. You do walk away, don't you? You know, if you got all this, if they've got balls, if you're on job, you do walk away, don't you? Because that's what stubborn people typically do. You don't want to get taken the piss out of. You literally move on to the next target, unfortunately. And obviously, we want MBEUMO quite a lot. But in the same breath, because it's taken so long, which we did mention yesterday, and I don't really want to repeat myself too much, is that if you do walk away, it kind of shows that you're an inferior negotiator. You look like an absolute prat. You've gone into these negotiations for 5 weeks nearly, and you still can't get over the line. And in 5 weeks, you've only got 2 bids done. You tried to get creative. They haven't rejected it. They just want a different, I don't know, different structure, as it's been said, right? And if you want to improve that structure, you're going to have to add on more so you can pay probably less over a time span of how many years. You're Man United. You're meant to have pretty much the best people in class to do the job. You know, this is where I look at it and say, if you can't get this one over the line, someone needs to get sacked. That's the way I look at it. Look, Dan Ashworth got sacked. Do you remember this one? Do you remember? Not even that long ago, by the way. Not even that long ago. What was it back in October, November? He got sacked, something along them lines. I don't know if that was to do with Ruben Amorim or keeping on Ten Hag on a job, which he shouldn't have done, by the way. And I don't know who else is to blame, because Wilcox apparently didn't even like Ten Hag, but he didn't have that power. You know, Dan Ashworth made that call from early, and that was that. And then from there, you know, he done some of these deals as well that are not quite favourable in terms of the terms, like the Jadon Sancho. Why is there 5 million clause to get out of an obligation and all this stuff? Like, it's like Chelsea must have inserted that themselves. You know, the get out clause. Let's call it like that. So really and truly, if you can't get this deal over the line after flipping 5 weeks, I need to see someone's head go, because clearly they're not competent enough. That's the way I look at it. And if you know, if Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants to keep it a buck and be consistent, right? Then, or even Omar Barada, whoever does the sacking, then you go and sack the next person. Because what happens when the next deal comes around and they're worth like 65, 70 million? Or you know what, we might have a little bit more cash. It could be worth 80 million. And we only want to put up a certain amount because we're tight and we're strapped. That's what I'm saying. It's the negotiations. It's like we've all been told that it's tactics. This is normal negotiating. I mean, yeah, maybe for some certain other clubs, but not when you finish 15th in the league. When you finish 15th in the league, you expect flipping the team to get a move on, don't you? You know, Tottenham haven't signed anyone. Actually, they signed one, to be fair. He cost 5 million and he's from Japan. Richard Arnold, are you looking for a job again? We've negotiated for over a month. We can't walk away now. It will take another month to find a new target. They can't guarantee that deal either. Well, apparently there has been an alternative found. His name's Igor Peixau. He's from Feyenoord. He's got literally, you know what? Let's get his stats up right now. Just to double confirm that he's worth 34 million, and that's how much it's going to cost to get him out of Feyenoord if someone wishes. He's 25. He's a left winger, by the way. He's right-footed, so that doesn't exactly sound like an alternative, does it? He can play on both sides. He can play in the middle. Let's see what else he's got. Let's see what his stats are saying. Because I can't. Well, you know what? I say I haven't watched him. It actually rings a bell now. In 129 games, because he used to be. Yeah, of course he did. He was the attacking mid. Of course I know who this guy is. He got 16 goals. 14 assists in the Dutch league. In a Champions League, he got 2 goals and 5 assists. Wait, this guy seems decent. You know what? I haven't watched Feyenoord extensively, but boy, I don't remember him being this good. Let me check his stats last year. Yeah, last year, look, 9 goals and 4 assists. He wasn't nowhere near as good. And even in the Champions League, he got literally nothing. Oh, maybe he's done it. Maybe he's onto something. Incompetent people United. Also, part of the reason why other clubs are able to sell their players because their owners do the most. They can push the players out. It seems to me that the club don't care about selling. I don't believe that. I just believe that our players are super overrated and we're pricing them at a stupid rate at the moment. An absolute stupid rate. Disgusting even. When you're seeing Garnacho, like we're struggling to sell Garnacho, you know, at the moment. And I don't know how much of a tactic that is. Look, too high of a price, you negotiate it down. That's pretty much simple. You know, you overprice your player. You don't want to pay that. A little bit what they're doing for Elanga. And then you negotiate it down as much as you can. And hopefully you can get the most money for him. You know, the whole price tag of Garnacho is so high, though. It seems like it's put off teams, which is annoying. Where is this as well? I'm trying to find something. I literally had it right here. There we go. Well, regardless of all of that stuff. Oh, what? He's so butters, man. Gap tooth, man. Anyways, Peixau is like an Alexis Sanchez regen, hoping Arsenal grab him. Well, we'll see what happens there. MBEUMO, a striker, Dumfries, a midfield, and we're good. We don't need to replace Onana right now. Let's go for Diogo Costa next season. That's just, you're basically replacing Onana with the white Onana. Do you know what I mean? I personally wouldn't do that. I would go nowhere near that guy. He is an absolute bozo. Good at saving penalties. Okay shot stopper at times. Got a bit of a weak wrist. Do you know what I mean? Probably needs to do more wanking. Might get a stronger wrist then. United make plan for Rashford to Barcelona. Fermin Lopez to United. I don't know anything about this Fermin Lopez. Why is he so hyped up? Why is he so good when I've never seen him? Realistically, unless he's been on the pitch and I haven't noticed him. We'll see what happens. But in Mbeumo's, Peixau, his name is. I'll put his name in. Look, here we go. This is his name. You can go have a little look at him if you want. Oh, now you don't want to talk. Hey, yo, crazy. I'm just being honest. Get a stronger wrist. The owners will behave this way until the end of the transfer, and then we'll sack Amorim in the middle of the season. Oh, if that happens, imagine that. You just got another repeat flipping Ten Hag situation. It'll be absolutely super annoying. Like, I know we need sales, yeah. And it is difficult. Like, it's mad unrealistic to sell Luke Shaw. It's crazy unrealistic to get rid of, like, Mason Mount at this stage when he's been injured for 2 years. Garnacho's a spoilt brat. You know, when it comes to Rashford, he thinks he's better than he really is. And I've been saying it for ages, but he wants a top club. Let's see what happens there, because he might get humbled and he might have to settle for a less club on loan, literally. So we'll see there. And then whatever else happens, happens. Like I would like to know if there's a bit more of a Sancho and Anthony update. That whole Anthony stuff has gone really quiet. But with Mbeumo, I just hope we don't fanny around, man. You know, when you're so desperate for something, and I am desperate to have this player at United. I've twerked for him literally the whole time I've had this CAS account, and I've only been running it for about a month consistently. Like May was like pretty inconsistent. Last month I missed out on quite a few shows, to be fair, but I'm trying to gradually get into the rhythm of things, of doing like 2 lives a day, try to do a video, all that stuff. Difficult when there's barely any news. But Mbeumo, man, it's just, if this is deadline day and it's been anticipated the way it needs to. And if United, I can't lie, if United don't stand on business and don't walk away from what's been briefed, yeah, then they are a bunch of pussies, really. Because I don't want them to, but I feel like they have to, considering like they're putting out a gamble. Let's see if you stick to your word. You're meant to have the other alternative targets, right? Whoever it may be, correct? So on that notice, pay the money, pay it up right now, stop fannying about and get it done. Because you know what MBEUMO would do for our team, yeah? And I don't have to explain it like 50, 100 times, but it's just the elements that he'd bring that we just don't have. And I don't know if there's another right winger that's available in the market, other than Kudus, by the way, who is pretty much going to be a similar price. Apparently, a bid's been rejected from Tottenham of 50 odd million. I don't know how true that is, and I don't know how credible the source is either. That's pretty much the only one I can kind of think of. You know, you probably could think of someone out there in another league that's been badding it up. He's been doing bits, but I can't think of anyone else that can do what MBEUMO does for us. Don't get me wrong. Look, I think he's going to be quite frustrating at times, you know, but what he's going to get is a little bit more like Salah does. You know, Salah might not always be great on the eye. He might not always have the best performance, but you know what he's going to do in the end? He's probably going to get you that goal. He's probably going to get you that winning assist or that last big chance created, at least, to give you a little something. You know, when it comes to crossing, you know, pinpointing it, something we haven't had in absolute donkeys. It's just like the crosses from deep as well into the back post. How many times have we seen us get killed from someone just literally dinking into the back post and you see someone tap it in? Or basically, you might tap into ONANA, then you might just push it into the net. How many times have we seen that? It's countless over the last 2-3 years. And even under Ten Hag, what was one of our weaknesses? The back post. The back post, the Wan-Bissaka back post. We absolutely couldn't deal with that whatsoever. So yeah, if United got anything about them, it looks like, you know, with this whole Elanga situation, which is going to help us in the long run, whether it's 15 or 20%, I don't know. And how much they're going to put up again, I don't know. You lot might know. Again, I always say this. You lot might know more than me. We're going to, that should be at least a little bit of leverage to get the MBEUMO stuff over the line. At least be informed of that situation. You know, if it's going to go through and you're confident, then go and get it done. But if United should front up the money, period. If you're confident, if these Elangas and all the rest of these players, if they're going to go, then that's why when it comes to, oh, but we're tight on cash. No, you're not. No, you're not tight on cash. You've got it. You go and give it because in this window, you're confident that you're going to sell these players anyways. So you get the deal done now and then you can pay it when you can. Obviously, that's what Chelsea do all the time. That's what most clubs do. You know, I can see Chelsea in the world going to get Kudus and they need to sell Madueke or someone, and someone will end up buying them because they're going to bank on them getting sold. This is why this whole sell to buy strategy as a big club just never really works. It's just pathetic, isn't it? Stupid. Well, that's up to you to decide. I don't think Cunha's a shit teammate. I don't think Xerxes is a shit footballer. I don't think Ahmad is a shit footballer. I expect us to get a central midfielder. Bruno's still a good footballer, whether you like him or not. And I don't think this manager's shit. I just think you've been listening to too much YouTube. Personally, that's just my take from that. Like, I think the manager needs to be given a chance still, and he has. And I don't really think it matters who comes into the job, because when you've got Højlund, Garnacho, and Mason Mount as your disposable front three for pretty much the end of the season for like a good couple months or so, you're going to flip and struggle, aren't you? You're never going to get, how are you going to get goals out of that? You let me know. Honestly, you let me know what manager in the world gets goals out of that so you can go and win some games. Cass, we should stay far away from Diogo Costa and Emi Martinez. I would like to get that Chevalier guy. I think he would be a decent recruitment. He's one of the better goalkeepers, isn't he? You know, this Emi Martinez stuff has gone real quiet. Maybe it's a good thing. Not a lot of the fans are quite convinced by him. I said I'd take him. Don't want him though, but I'd take him. And obviously Diogo Costa, I think he's heavily overrated. I think out of all the keepers that have got major PR at the moment, it's him. And I don't know why he's got major PR. Is it because he can save a penalty? What is it? Because I remember when we played him. Do you remember that? It was only last season, right? We packed him in. We packed him in. I said Brentford. You know what? You're right, to be fair. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Whatever polarized actually means, I said Brentford was a better team. But actually, you know what? If we go back to that, You never said that. You just said worst teammates. You never said anything about technically. So why are you so polarized? Right? It wasn't specific. Dumfries is 29, by the way. So? Tell your boy Ratcliffe put the court in the bag. Yeah, maybe. You got his number. Anyone? How about you put the flipping settlement into Mbeumo's like last little finances and get him done? Oh man, dream of that front three, man, or at least front two. Anyways, whoever's striker could be striker. Mbeumo's a 10 out of 10 signing. He's a 10 out of 10 signing, man. He's wicked. I was watching this compilation and I put the Wenger boys music over his goals. I don't know if anyone saw it, but I'll post it. Again, it's on my Twitter, to be fair. So I'm waiting to repost it again when he signs. Otherwise, you look like an absolute prat. You look like a donut. Innie hose, you know. Big up Ash. As a Liverpool fan, your video on Jota, it was just really nice, Cass. Yeah, man. Big up yourself, Ash. Is that the Ash that I think it is? Ash that used to come on Never a Foul. I'm gonna guess that is the one that does all the artwork. The reason we can see this so many last season, that's not for me. Cass, I feel like if we don't get Mbeumo, we end up as. But that's what I think, and that's the biggest. That is for me. That is literally a shot in the foot, and I think that's what Brentford are actually playing with as well. I can see in a world where if we don't pay out the money, Spurs will happily pay out the money, and you know Thomas Frank has already tried to go in for him to try and see if he'd be tempted to go with him. And imagine in a world, and I don't want to think of worst case scenarios. The worst case scenarios is just Kudus ends up at Chelsea. They bolstered their attack. And then before you know it, Man United end up with some washed up right 10. Yeah, that no one's heard of. And he's going to struggle to adapt. And then like we go for Semenyo, who signed a new deal, and we still go for him because we've got a bunch of idiots. I'm not saying yet, but it could be the case. And then you see flipping Mbeumo end up at Spurs because of our incompetence. It's absolute. It's embarrassing. You have to get it done now. And I think United know that. They're in a bit of a pickle. I'll be real. Big up Cass. Glad to see you smiling. I need some happiness. I hope everyone in the chat is good today. Yeah, big up Mitchell, man. And Mbeumo said he will only leave for United this summer, I think. Yeah, don't be tested. Yeah, players lie all the time. Of course, he says he only wants United right now. But what if United's out of the picture? If United are out of the picture, it means it's a free run for Spurs yet again. Oh, my bad. If we walk away from Mbeumo after 5 weeks, then the CEO and sporting director needs to leave. Why waste time instead of walking out a long time ago? That's what I'm saying. I think they've gambled on the fact that, and you know what? I said it yesterday and I'll say it again. If you're a Brentford fan and you're watching, I used to have actually someone called Vinny watching. I don't know where he's gone these days. On my part is Brentford have played the long game. United have tried to do the long game thinking that they're going to break. I don't think Brentford have broken. I think their plan was to always originally reject the first 2 bids. And that's a smart play. And you know Brentford do need the money as well. They can't act like they don't. They need to heavily reinvest. But they know United's in a certain position. If they do string them out, then they will probably put something close to the asking price or for the actual asking price. And you know what? We ourselves as fans, and we need to make a compilation of some of this stuff. And what I mean by a compilation is how many times when it comes to Manchester United in particular, you know, it's asking prices, wages, all of this bullshit gets absolutely torn a new one, blown into the stratosphere of, oh, Brentford wants 75 million for Mbeumo, Man United are willing to pay, or 70 million. And then, you know, it comes out today that they want something close to Cunha, which is 62.5 million. United have only put up 62.5 million bid. They want more favorable terms in terms for themselves. It's like wages, 250k, flipping billion naira per week. 5 billion rupees per week, like all the time. It needs to get sussed out. Like literally, all these like Lee Riders, him for 1, Mel Sport, that for 2. Sometimes MEN at times when they want to be dickheads or not. It's like a flipping northern version of TalkSport at this point. All of these stupid little outlets who like to report on United and absolute bullshit. Someone needs to do some sort of compilation of how much bollocks these lot talk. So whenever we do see their sources, right, and you got Alex Crook as well, who's holding Ben Jacobs' dick for a little bit of flipping credibility because he ain't got nothing of his own. And he wants probably to be viewed in the world of Manchester United fans because since he talks about Man United all the time, that he's credible. It's not working, mate. I'll promise you that. Anytime Alex Crook says anything, don't believe you, mate. Don't have to hold your pocket every time you want to go for a piss. You know what I mean? Ben Jacobs has been absolutely outstanding, but you got to put all of these like in one bracket. So then when we are reading news, we could just wave it away and say, that's bollocks, that's bollocks, that's bollocks. You said this. I thought it was 70 million. Talking shite. But if not, they can go in the bracket of they were credible. In the end, you know, if they're saying that, you know, they're not going to budge, they still want their 70 million. Slow Sports News is another one of them. So that's what I want. I want to get into that zone. I want if someone's actually up for the task of doing that, because it's not even just for Manchester United. Of course, if you don't know, I do run another channel. It's a multi-club channel in terms of Never a Foul. When it does come to them sort of sources for like Liverpool or something like that, don't get me wrong. I think you get, I always say there's no smoke without fire, and you're going to wait for some more noise around that certain player, certain topic. And then you can kind of talk about it, but you can't say it's definite, right? And then it just makes our job a lot easier. When I say job, I just mean, well, some of you might be for some of your hobbies. I don't know. Some people do this full time. Some people don't. They just do it for the love of the game. I do wonder if you could use the chat GPT or AI to check the history of transfer news to see. Oh, you might be onto something. I'm going to ask Grok. I wonder if Grok will know that. You need to be very specific as well. If you're very specific in your wording, it might come up. I might ask for all the transfer news on MBEUMO this summer. Hey Drito, you're playing 4D chess. Cass, I have a feeling that Omar Brad is here to destroy our club. He's the City agent. Nah, probably not. This is his reputation that's on the line. United's already been destroyed. Big up Cass, RIP to Jota and Andre, to his family and friends are still in shock yesterday, but the love of every football fan is shown class, so big up to you in the chat. Big up yourself, big country, man. Negotiating with Premier League teams as long you pay 40% premium for these players, absolutely. There's got to be a way to need to talk to a tech person. There's someone, you just got to be very specific. You know what? I think if Jarvis was awake and he was watching or listening to this, then I would pretty much ask him. He'd know. He's very articulated. So when it comes to this whole chat GPT stuff, he's very much hands-on. Tactical Devils, if you see him in a chat, and he would know what to do. Like, he would know exactly what to write, and then can give us like a consensus that this is, if you do this, then it will give you basically a bunch of lists of said reporters that have made. Then you can just go and pretty much do your own little bit. And you know what? Might have to present it. If it's that easy, I'll probably make a video on it. Every journal that's got anything right and wrong, including these fake ITKs. It might give some clarification to some of us United fans. So yeah. Cass, I hope Brentford get relegated. Well, we haven't not gotten him yet. Do you know what I mean? There's still time. So yeah, man, there's still time to get him over the line. And if it's today, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if we don't hear anything today either. It might be something where we wait until next week again. I'm not even kidding. And you know what? We've got a pre-season training by the 7th. And imagine you've only got one player over the line, or pretty much 1.5 players over the line. It's pretty pathetic. Because Diego Leon's coming. So that's like a brand new signing, if you want to call it that. But he might be getting gulagged to the under-21s for a bit. Same thing that Sekou Kone happened. Just get gulagged for a bit and go learn, I don't know, learn the culture, settle in slowly. But if he's that good, then he should just be a part of the first team. Just in MBEUMO, it's such a boring topic. I just want to get a here we go so I can have a gas mode stream, And I hope it isn't later today. Slightly I don't, because I don't exactly have the time to do it. Because if I come home, because I'll be home very late, and I see MBEUMO happen ages ago, I'm going to have to make a stream at like 2 a.m. in the morning or 1 a.m. in the morning, literally doing up the most. And knowing that I have to do a 9 a.m. stream on a Saturday morning, which is, it's difficult, don't get me wrong, getting used to like this pattern. Like getting up at 8:30 when you're finishing your stream at like 12, you want to watch, I don't know, Rick and Morty in bed or something. And before you know it, you're up again. And you're like, shit, there's not going to exactly be new news by this point. Anything that I've spoken about has pretty much been spoken about. Did he not move though? I don't understand the Teo Hernandez. Why we wouldn't go in for him if he was so cheap? If it was 20 million, then surely you go in for him. You know, if he's a market opportunity, as they say, you go and get that market opportunity. He'd be class. But then again, I still say United needs someone that's able to cross the ball and not like zing it from 50 yards to try and get something top bins, aka whatever done to flip in Bayern Munich back in 2013. Are you live later on? No, I'm not. I've got an important day. Finish 15th and we have one signing. That's the thing. And if you go get something done now, literally at this point, then it's like two signings done within a month of the window being open. You say, you know what? That's not that sad, to be fair, because now you need to go add another 2 this month potentially. But I can only expect maybe just 1. There's still a rush for me to go and get this striker situation sorted. And you already know when it comes to if they want Ollie Watkins as the priority after MBEUMO, right? You already know that with negotiating with Aston Villa is going to take a while as well. Is it going to take another 6 weeks to negotiate because they want a certain price and we don't want to do that? And we got to rely on all these sales as well. People forget that. All these sales. Is Saudi even going to actually come in for Casemiro or not? I doubt it. Man said L work rate. You lot are absolutely taking the piss. You know what? Watson, you want to take the piss? All right, let me see how many likes are. How about this? Have you even liked the video? I'm only on 50 likes. I'm on 50 likes. It's 9 a.m. in the morning, 8:30 in the morning. That's an L work. That's L work rate from you lot. See, because of Watson, people, you lot have been crucified. Is what it is. No, you didn't. Stop lying, Watson. Did you like it on your burner account? That's the real question. How much support are you really giving? Ask yourself that. No news on Kudus as the right 10. Nah, nothing. Actually, you know what? I saw that we got offered Kudus a couple of weeks ago and we rejected it. Maybe because the whole MBEUMO stuff. But if United was smart, surely you put out some feelers out there saying that United are ready to move on to like a Kudus. You know, same way with Brentford where they were using this fake Spurs stuff that they bidded as leverage to why United should pay more. Yeah, exactly, Fish Nuts. That's a mad name, by the way, but exact that. Cash United should bring back. God forbid. God forbid. You lot are taking the mick. Oh, hurry up, man, United. You're killing me, man. Get me a MBEUMO already, you pieces of shit. You know what? He might be live. That's it. That's the one. Let me just double check something. Yeah. But yeah. If we do our history, we could have had Kudu. Yeah, we could have had him for 30 million. 30 million. Do you remember that one? Crazy price. 25, 30 million, but we didn't get him instead. What did we choose? Anthony. Funny old game. But yeah, moving on as well. Sorry to disappoint you lot at this moment of time. Looks like Onana's staying. I feel like you lot probably knew this, but I've still got hope that United are ready to move him on. I think the only way we're ready to move him on if we get this striker and centre mid in the door as fast as possible. And there might be a situation where United don't really want to start with Onana in the net. But I've got a feeling Ruben Amorim, because of the way Onana is in terms of how good he really is with his feet, if United turn into a crazy possession side, I reckon they're happy to keep with Onana just because he's good with the ball and in certain situations of keeping possession. But our thing is no matter what is, what happens when it comes down to the moments, a little bit like Emi Martinez letting down Aston Villa at the end of the season against us by getting sent off against Højlund out of all strikers. That's the moments for me. Like, I saw that Emi Martinez had more goals leading to errors than Onana by 2, right? I think Onana had 4, he had 6. But that's the thing. Those 4 errors leading to goals could turn into 6 or 5. He might even get the exact same, maybe even worse. And that's the point where it's like, but will this cost us in the long run? I had real high hopes for Onana when he came through the door. I thought, you know what, we're going to change as a footballing team. But if we don't change as a footballing team and we keep doing this long ball shit, yeah, what's the point of keeping him? And I know a lot of clubs don't want him. There's links to Saudi, and I think that's got rubbished off. Lacazette went to the team that he was linked with. And I've had enough of just, I don't know, these, you know, early dives. When it comes to corners, it doesn't look the best. You know, even when he comes out for punches as well, they don't look convincing. It's like, this is why I asked for this Vanya, like, because you know what, even if we don't know much about him and we've only seen compilations, I'm more trusting in a 17 million pound signing, something cheap, even if he's classed as backup. You know, him pushing for that number one spot. It looks like he's not going to Napoli anymore, as well. So that's a positive, right? Because they're gonna have to have a new round of talks because they want a certain figure out. I don't know. Or Milan, sorry, not Napoli. He's not looking like he's gonna go Milan. But for me, he's on that side. It's like it's just a low risk. I think keeping Onana in the net as a first team keeper is just too high risk. And there's a part of me that says, you know what? If we do change the way we play and stop doing this long ball, you can play out from the back because you've got a central midfielder that can actually do a bit of first phase. Then yeah, you might be able to use him to his strengths, but his negatives outweigh his strengths. I don't know what flipping Man United see. If you're going to get all these sales from Alvaro Fernandez, there's like a 16.5 to 21 million pounds that United will receive from Benfica if he is to go to Real Madrid because they want a 42 million release clause. We're talking about, we got Wolfie in the chat as well. It's going to be 55, I think. What do you know something that we don't, Wolfie, with the whole Elanga situation? Text me if you don't mind, if that's the, because you got your links. But if that is going to be it, then we get something like, we'll see if it's 15%, we'll see if it's 20%. But I'm not going to haggle, and I don't really give a shit over a couple million. But whether it's 6, 7, 8 million, then that's the extra little bit. And it's just like, well, you can buy a keeper with that. You know, straight away, you can definitely go and get a second goalie. And I know you need Beyinde to maybe shift, but someone will buy him for something dirt cheap, you know? He doesn't want to go back to Turkey. Well, mate, we'll tell him you're going to Turkey. Because if it was another owner, I'm pretty sure they're happy to tell that player to say, no, you're going, or if not, you're going in the gulag, mate. You're going straight to the reserves. What did we pay for him? 5 million? Did we pay 5 million for him? Something stupid like that, or 3-4 million? It's not really a loss, is it? Cass, would you take Malik Fofana from Lyon? I would as backup. He's a cold player. He's really, you know what? Yeah, of course I would. But I think where he's best suited is probably off the left. I haven't really seen him on the right in any games. I don't know. You know what? I do this thing with Liga, right? I start watching them at the start of the season. I watch like what 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. I usually turn to Monaco's and the Nice's. They were actually right, and then I stopped when they drew 0-0. Yeah, that was it. It was like, I ain't watching this shit no more. And then I always end up watching Bundesliga. I don't know what it is, but I love watching Bundesliga. But it's because it's probably on a tactical aspect. You can see the game for what it is, and also there's loads of goals typically. Yeah. Well, I hope we get Richard Rios. He's a baller. He's definitely an opportunity, but he's heavily linked with Nottingham Forest at the moment, and also and Tottenham are interested. But this whole thing with Nottingham Forest's owner getting like an influx of Brazilians and obviously South Americans, like Colombians, because he's Colombian, then I can kind of see him going there. It might be the stepping stone. But it did say that there was several European clubs interested. And I know it kind of got confirmed, but I hate being interested in FC. Stop window shopping. Go and do something. Would you take Kulu, as in Kulusevski, in a heartbeat? In a heartbeat. You know what? If he's definitely a one-to-weight and United wanted something a little bit different, then yeah, I hear the Kulusevski. But then you're going to have to go and get me an elite goal scorer. Let me see. Let me see if you text me. 1 second. Oh, okay. Oh. Let's see if Forest budge on that then. Let's see if Forest budge on that. But you know what? I think Forest might be able to get a couple more million out of Newcastle. So Wolfie, I'm not going to say what or whom or whatever, but according to Wolfie sources, because he's actually got legit stuff going with Forest. Yeah, it looks like 55 could be it for Elanga. So it looks like we might have a little bit of a payday, lads. Also, even with the other one, I think we're set to earn, what is it, 2 or 3 million because of what's his name, the half Polish guy, mixed race, Oyedeli. Apparently he's going to go somewhere as well, and his release clause is something like 6 million. So that's the extra few. That's not that bad. Him and Elanga make up 10 million. Again, that's a stupid deal. Who put a 6 million release clause in it? What kind of club is that? He should be going for 15. Manchester United should sell Mason Mount on the Forest. Well, Forest are not that they're not actually brain dead idiots anymore. You know, everyone seems to be ahead of the curb. I think we're looking at this Rios. I think you would as well. He's a bit like a Joe Linton regen when you look at him play overall. It's, you know, obviously Joe Linton started off as a striker, but when you look at Joe Linton at Newcastle, Richard Rios seems like the more polished version, if that makes sense. Obviously, Joe Linton, I would say, is definitely more of a goal threat, though, and Richard Rios has definitely got a little bit more about him defensively, but bar that, it's quite a similar profile. And I really like the Joe Linton profile. It's so underrated what Eddie Howe done with him. I don't think that gets spoken about enough either. I wish we took the Bruno money. Well, I'm not going to lie, yeah? Hear me out on this part, yeah? When I see that Martinelli and Al Nassr, right? Because this is Al Nassr, so he's one of the 2 richest, I believe, out of them and Al Hilal or something like that. He's been quoted around like what 75? Let's just say 75 million. But you're telling me he's worth 75 million, but Bruno Fernandes is 80 million. Are you flipping? You know what? In a sense, I'm happy Man United didn't accept that. I know Bruno Fernandes, it was up to him. He didn't want to leave, right? So it was down to him. But if he was going to go and United accepted 80 million, that's pathetic. That's absolutely pathetic. Yeah, it was confirmed. Remember, there was a whole saga over it. So it's like, you'd be asking for 100 million minimum. Yeah, I think so as well, Watson. I think he's going to go. But then again, does the player want to leave Forest? Does he want to, you know, something with Forest at the moment that they've got a really good dressing room. It seems like really good vibes. You know, he looks like he's quite good friends with Ola Aina, Hudson-Odoi as well. And I'm not saying he can't, because he can have Isak. And to be fair, I don't know how close he is with Isak. Just because they're Swedish teammates doesn't exactly mean they're boys. But you know, you got quite a good click at Newcastle as well. There's a lot to be done on the player side of things. I feel like he's quite embedded into like the Nottingham Forest project at this time. You know, and I think I don't know. I'm not saying that Newcastle can't do it, but I think there's a lot to be done. I don't think this one gets done as quick as what people say. I think it will take a good, maybe a good week potentially. Forest is going to be going to be difficult to negotiate with, you know. They're going to need someone lined up as well. Oh my God, what? You're lying. Is it just come out now? Where's this? I ain't seen none of this. Has he got a release clause in? Well, they all got release clauses, don't they? What? Wait, hold on. Why am I typing this into YouTube? Am I a prat? All right, Nico Williams. Well, apparently, according to Gerard Romero, Nico Williams to Barcelona are 150% sure. Well, he looks like an absolute idiot now. Oh, he's come out 10 minutes ago. Nico Williams has signed a new contract with Atletico Bilbao. 8-year contract. Oh my God. Does that mean that what's the point? If he was going to go to Barcelona, why would you sign a new contract, right? Oh my God. And he said, this is what he said. When it comes to making decisions, the most important thing is to listen to your heart. This is the place where I want to be with my people. This is my home. I swear down, leaving the mountains of that Basque area, I swear on my life, we need to visit. I need to visit the Basque region, yeah, because honestly, whatever's there's something different in their water. They love it there. They absolutely love it. Unai Simon, I don't rate him. Not for me. But you know what? Beggars can't be choosers. Better than Nana, right? Yeah, Bilbao pay mad wages. Yeah, but there must be something about that region. I know they got beaches and everything as well. You know what? You're probably right. But Barcelona is not, let's not act like Barcelona is not a pretty region. It's not even that far away. Oh, so it looks like Marcus Rashford to. Should I change the title? I might have to change the title. Should I call it Rashford Bomber? There we go. That'll do. That'll do right there. Let's capitalize his name, lads. Wow. Wow. So it looks like United are finally gonna. Oh my God. Yeah. Let's see if they're gonna pay out the money. How much were they willing to pay for him? You know what? We got. This is relevant, by the way. But this is relevant. How much were they willing to take Nico Williams for? What's his release clause? Nico Williams release clause? Because I saw that, and Wolfie, you should be able to confirm with me as well. Isn't so this whole this ratio thing that happened with Barcelona, they were put on some sort of restrictions, and apparently now they're back on this 1-to-1 ratio, meaning the restrictions or certain things that they couldn't do, they can do now. So that also means that they should be able to do whatever they need to do with transfers. 55 million euros. What's that? Is that like 58 million euro release clause? 58. All right, let's convert that. Euros to pounds. Can't be that much of a difference. If it's 58, it's got to be about 50, right? So yeah, 50. So they were willing to offer 50 million. So that tells me. So wait, let me understand this then. So they were willing to pay 50 million for Nico Williams, right? He is willing to take a pay cut, by the way. Williams has got really big wages and he was willing to take a pay cut himself. You put the maths together, they can save 10 million by getting Rashford because we want 40 million. Don't fuck around. I'm not going to lie. I'll take 35 million. I'll take 30 million even. Really and truly, they should be paying pretty much the exact same thing for the much better player in Rashford. And also, you can easily get the terms on because this guy's been absolutely twerking his ass off for Barcelona. So you can go and take your 150k per week or whatever you want. Oh, everything's going right now. You know, it was only last week, right, when I was on here and I was complaining the house down about the sales. They need to get a move on. Jadon Sancho, Juventus, that looks like a really healthy situation at the moment. Alanga, Alvaro Fernandez after the Club World Cup. Anthony Batiste it's going to get done one way or another. Garnacho is the last little piece that I hate the most out of all of them. And then this Rashford stuff. Calm. Because Deco even came out before and even mentioned that, you know, if they can go after the Nico Williams, obviously Rashford's there, but we're working on a deal. Blah, 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 blah. This should be quite easy for him. Hansi Flick's a fan of him. And I'm the latest, biggest fan of Deco. What do you mean it's not the time for a stream? In what sense is not the time for a stream? It's 9:50 in the morning. Why can I not stream? You know what? No, but everything is going right in a sense of like reports and putting, you know, 2 and 2 together. Why are you trying to kill my vibe? Hey, Brad, I can't wait for him to. I don't think you understand, Wolfie, yeah? The amount of wages we basically pay out per year to some of these players like Sancho's, like at the moment it stands at like 10 million a year. Rashford must stand around 13 million a year at this current point or at this moment of time. It's like that's like savings in itself because we're not going to give those wages. We're not going to give those wages out to anyone else. Mate, Cal, if you're referring to what the situation yesterday, why are you telling me to not do my job? Like, unless you're unemployed, I hope you don't go to work today because you're not living under a rock, correct? Mate, what am I meant to do? Not stream all year, you prat? Fucking hell, get a grip of yourself, man. But it's not the time. Personally, look, I don't support Liverpool. I don't have a crazy connection or anything like that. Do you understand? Like, I need to live my life. You know, I'm not this guy that sits down there and mourns, you know. Like, bro, I've been respectful of the situation. I've done little bits and bobs. So if you don't like it, unsubscribe, you go live under a rock and fuck off to another stream. Fab Bomber. All right, let's have a look. Yeah, that was it then. Barcelona deal was off due to registration issues. Why you? And you know what? Do you live under? On top of that, let me think of this as well. Why are you on YouTube? So if you want to be so respectful, go. Why are you on YouTube? You should be sitting in the dark on your bed somewhere in darkness, thinking about your life and thinking about what could have been. You shouldn't be on your phone. What are you doing on your phone? Why are you having fun? How dare you? So, Wolfie, am I allowed to get a little bit giddy now? Oh, nice. You can say, oh, he's coming. Oh, Ben Jacobs is going to be on the channel of Forest Fan TV tonight. What, Wolfie? Can you ask him some United questions for me, quick, as well? Because you know what? I know he said it will come on. I haven't exactly spoken to him in terms of like getting him on the channel or whatever. But I might have to ask. Just have some respect, for fuck's sake. How about you respectfully fuck off? Signed a 10-year deal is crazy, isn't it? Someone get rid of this fucking weirdo, man. Please get rid of him. He's doing my head in. Oh, yeah, no, if you didn't know, Ben Jacobs is Wolfie's best friend. You know what? Yeah, Wolfie, can you tell Ben Jacobs to have some respect and not come on your stream tonight? Yeah, no, I don't know what the situation is with the registration. Dude, I have no idea. What is up with this Barcelona registration? Big up Pete in the building. Love to see you, my friend. Let me have a little check. All right, Barcelona registration problem. All right, let's have a little look in here. Barcelona faced a register with Nico Williams. So, okay, here we go then. You might be right here. Barcelona not quite there yet. La Liga warns champions they still don't comply with financial rule preventing them from registering Nico Williams. I don't know if it's a La Liga thing or overall. Barcelona have yet to meet La Liga's one-to-one financial fair play, which we got told threshold required to freely register new players, according to Mundo Deportivo. Despite recent efforts to reduce the wage bill through departure of Ansu Fati to Monaco, Clement Lenglet, the club remain unable to meet the full compliance due to unresolved financial shortfalls. The Liga did not validate the 100 million euros deal Barcelona executed in December, involving the sale of future Camp Nou hospitality boxes. The deal was called off in April 25. It's still a big part of their ongoing financial fair play. Yada, yada, yada. No one cares, no one cares, no one cares. Barca cannot use the 100% of released salary or sales revenue from player exits to register reinforcements. The club have taken a number to minimize costs. The non-one-to-one compliant clubs can only use 60% of released salary towards new signings or 70% of those whose salary is 5% or more of the squad. What next for Barcelona? Barcelona will need to generate further income or capital transactions to get that status. Without this, they remain restricted in the summer transfer window. Boy, well, it's still a bonus for us. Either way, we already know that Barcelona will find a way. They're criminals in all this stuff. Like, they got a whole Catalonia mafia. So for me, we'll wait and see. But as long as Nico Williams has signed that contract, we don't mind. He's got his future sealed off, right? Correct. Barcelona, apparently Bayern Munich are interested in Rashford as well. So we'll see what happens from there. At some point, I reckon it will get done. But now this only gives Marcus Rashford, all the more hope and to probably reject any more offers. But if Bayern Munich comes through, Man United tell him you need to get a fucking move on. So we'll see there. Jumma Mubarak to everyone, by the way. Yeah, you know what? His release clause has probably gone up. All right, who's live? We're going to be live later on, to be fair. But is anyone live now? Don't really follow many people on this account. And also, we're on 100 likes yet. We're 15 away from 100 likes. No, no one's live. All right, let me go on this account. Is anyone live? Can anyone surely some of you lot's favorite YouTubers are around. Me and Rants are not live. Because Rants has got something going on, so we're not live. We would have been live in about 5 minutes, but that's not the case at the moment. I mean, Jester's live. I think that's it. Jester's the only one that's live. He's playing. What the hell is he playing? He's playing some next 7 ways to die. What the hell is that? All right, let's go raid Jester. He's only got raid Jester. It's one of my longest shows ever. All right, in a bit. I'm gonna be back.